will not do this unless it's okay with everybody, but I want to use this as a tool to help improve the Republican Party, its effectiveness for conservatives. So Dick will film this. He's going to be basically just shooting me, so you'll not be on film, because I know there's some politicians here in the crowd. But does anyone object even if they're not going to be on the video? If anyone objects, we won't do it. Does that bother anyone here?
No.
Okay, thank you. So I'll go ahead. I'll try to go as fast as I can. There's a little bit of material to go through on this. But basically, this is a checklist to determine whether the Republican Party is really trying to win elections or not. Controversial topic. That's why I do this. You know, what is the greatest advantage that Democrats have over Republicans? I've surveyed groups on this before, and it's pretty unanimous that it's the media. The control of the media almost entirely by the Democrats. And the average when I do polls is, I ask people, by what percentage does it cost you? And it's 10 to 15% swing in every election. So this is far beyond what the Republican Party spends hundreds of millions of dollars on ads. They don't get 10 or 15% from that. Okay, so the question is, what has the RNC establishment ever done to minimize their greatest disadvantage if they're really trying to win? Can anyone think of anything?
No.
I know. Absolutely nothing for 50 years.
And if let Obama get in, that'll be the best.
Well, for the following election, possibly. But yeah, that's, generally losing elections isn't the best way to win elections. But, on this, they've done nothing for 50 years. And I know from personal experience, I founded one of the larger conservative media companies in the United States. And we went out to these people. And we said, this is going to help you win if you just get a fair alternative. And we got zero, absolutely zero. It goes beyond that. In 1969, we know from White House papers, Ross Perot went to Richard Nixon and said, I think we're going to lose the Vietnam War because there's such a pro-communist tilt in our news media. He says, I will buy ABC News for you so we can prevent that. And what did Richard Nixon do? He told them not to do it and gave them absolutely no reason. Can you imagine just the improvement from that alone? If in 1969, 1/3 of the media was not in the hands of the leftists? So that's the first question down. Second question, the next one is...
Third. Last.
Yeah, right, all right.
Why don't you guys, one of you read question number 3, because we want this to be interactive. So that's why we made copies. Yvonne, read number 3.
Thank you. I was going to do that.
Okay.
What did Nixon tell Perot to do, not to do, with no exception?
Explanation.
I'm sorry, explanation.
Not to do it. Yeah, that's actually the answer.
Should I do number 4?
Yes.
Here.
At the same time, for the same reason, while in high school, I wrote William F. Buckley that conservatives should not take over ABC News by lying to stop. What did he say?
He said that it would be just as bad to have one Republican network and 2 Democratic networks as to have 3 Democratic networks. I got that in a handwritten letter from William F. Buckley, because I had the same idea. I had no idea what Perot was doing. That came out 20 years later out of White House papers. Okay, the next one.
Every good thing that has happened to fight this in the last 30 years, such as talk radio or the Tea Parties, who won the 2010 elections, was the RNC behind it?
Well, exactly. They fought it.
They called us names.
They call us names as Tea Partiers.
The two most effective TV ads ever were Willie Horton's Swift Boat. Did the RNC support those ads? They
No.
They tried to get them taken off of the air. That's correct. By the way, the most successful Republican politician in the last 60 years, everyone knows who that is. It's Ronald Reagan. Everyone still talks about him today. Was he supported by the RNC circles in 1980?
No, not at all.
That's right. And now, did they learn anything from it? The reason they gave was, they said it was because he wouldn't be able to appeal to Democrats. He got the highest percentage of Democratic votes of any Republican. The most conservative presidential Republican candidate in the last 60 years got the highest percentage of Democratic votes. Has the RNC learned anything from that?
No.
Okay. 10. You want to do it, Carol?
Are there Ronald Republican candidate schools run by the RNC teaching new people how to use Reagan's methods?
No. I wish there was. I'd go to it. I think a lot of us would, You want to do the next one, Larry?
Is that the ad types Reagan used?
Oh, right. I'm sorry, I didn't delete it. The RNC favors sleazy, deceptive, negative TV ads with sarcastic voiceovers. We've all heard them. And they turn people off. And they avoid telling the truth about the most serious flaws of their opponents, like McCain did in regard to Bill Ayers and Dukakis and Willie Horton. Sorry, we got slightly out.
Is that the type of ads Reagan used? No, he didn't.
Number was bad.
Sure, did Reagan shy away from calling evil what it was, like the RNC and their preferred candidates did, and do?
That's right, we all know the truth on that. You know, he called the Soviet Empire an evil empire, you know? The next one is one I thought was coming up. You want to do that one, Elsie?
Sure.
Your big voice.
Yeah. Which party has a better record on human rights, racism, the Democrats or the Republicans? Republicans.
Absolutely. Slavery, they created the Ku Klux Klan, they were the primary force behind racial segregation. And what's his name, who they like to talk about, Bull Connors, was a Democratic Party alderman. He's like the most popular Democrat in this county. He's also the head of the KKK in this county.
Chris Matthews called Romney the Grand Wizard.
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
And
And he used to almost work for the Grand Cyclops, who was, Richard Byrd was yearly
Yeah.
elected the Grand
Grand
Cyclops of the Ku Klux Klan. Now, do you ever hear on television, do you ever have the RNC types ever point this out when this is talked about?
No.
I can think of only one whimper, which was Michael Steele once on MSNBC said, well, you know, there's, no, that's it, just tiny little whimpers. We should be shouting this from the top of the roofs.
He did say yesterday when they called,
Romney the Grand Wizard.
yeah,
Yes.
He made him
He
apologize.
made him apologize on TV. He made him.
Who did?
Chris.
Who made him apologize?
Who made whom apologize? The pronouns aren't working for me. I need to-
Michael Steele
Yeah.
made Chris Matthews apologize.
Is Michael Steele still seated in our party? Oh, and this is
This is yesterday.
Yesterday. He was on Chris Matthews' show. I've been traveling.